Hey everybody, welcome back around to the Blog and Grill. I'm your host Doug here with your video blog for October 2nd, 2013. I got some college football Heisman update and my take on the Lane Kiffin firing. A look at your MLB playoffs, but first let's get to our Week 4 wrap-up and I give you my Fantasy Player of the Week first. My Fantasy Player of the Week has to be Tony Gonzalez. 38 fantasy points for him in a big game, but a big loss also to the Patriots. My Offensive Player of the Week is going to be Drew Brees. Drew Brees on Monday Night Football throwing for 413 yards and 4 touchdown passes in the win over the Miami Dolphins. And my Defensive Player of the Week has to be Patrick Peterson of the Arizona Cardinals, who picked off a pass late in the game to seal the win for the Cardinals over the Buccaneers. And he also had a pick earlier in the game, so Patrick Peterson, 2 picks and a big win there. In time for a quick look at the Doug Sports Blog and Grill Fantasy Football standings. We have one team at 3-1, and that is Chris Neal, my Aunt Christy. She's at 1-3. Everybody else filling right in at 2-2. Should be a great week once again in the fantasy world of Doug Sports Blog and Grill. We got about 10 weeks to go until the playoffs in the Doug Sports Blog Grill series, and we're gonna have quite a few 3-2 teams for sure. It should be an exciting week in the fantasy world of sports. Alright, so that's my NFL Week 4 wrap-up. Now let's get to my Heisman update. I'm going to give you my third, my second, and my first Heisman player. And coming in at number 3, I got Sean Mannion, the quarterback out of Oregon State. He's completed 67.2% of his passes, 21 touchdowns, 2 picks, and he has thrown for 2,018 yards during the regular season. My number 2 guy, kind of under the radar, not sure about him yet. I'm putting Zach Mettenberger in at number 2. 64.1% completion percentage, 13 touchdowns, 1 pick. He had the big game against Georgia. He's thrown this year for 13,980 yards, so he's been very solid, almost to that 14,000 yard plateau. And of course, my number 1 Heisman candidate right now has to be Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel, 71.4% completion percentage. He has 14 touchdowns through the air, 3 on the ground. He's only thrown 4 picks, and he has total yard numbers of almost 1,800 yards. So this guy's having a great season, a great start to his season, and really, even though he lost in Alabama, that is his big Heisman moment so far this year. That race will change for sure. It's really open right now. I think it will be a quarterback, though. No real running backs really making a run at the Heisman Trophy at this point. Look for Teddy Bridgewater, maybe jump up there. But, I mean, he just doesn't play anybody big. It's really hard to pick a guy that's not playing big games. And all these guys that I have on my board right now are playing big games week in, week out in the tough SEC and Pac-12 schedules. One coach that will not be coaching in the Pac-12 anymore is Lane Kiffin. Everybody knows the story. He got fired after getting off the team bus, or getting off the team jet, didn't get onto the team bus. And really, that's no big deal. He lives a block from the airport, so he parks his car at the airport. So that was not a big deal, really. But really, Lane Kiffin lost control of the institution, struggled with the sanctions, really didn't treat people well. You hear this a lot. Lane Kiffin did not treat people well. He kind of had this coming to him. And I'm not surprised, but I'm going to take it a step further. Everybody says, how did Lane Kiffin get these jobs at these big-time programs? My question is, how did Monty Kiffin get some of the jobs he got? Monty Kiffin has not put out, he's a defensive coordinator in the NFL, and he has not had good defenses. I don't know how the Kiffins are getting these jobs. Lane Kiffin was with the Raiders, went to Tennessee for about a quarter, and then decided to go to USC, and he has just not been good. Has some of the best talent, just can't get anything out of it. A terrible motivator of young men, and not a great teacher. So I think Lane Kiffin needs to take it a step back, maybe go to a Division II, Division III school, find his way back, build a resume, and really build from the bottom up again. He's young. He's only 38. He's got to build from the bottom, move all the way down to the lowest rank he can and build up from there, actually have success. He's never had success at any level of football he has coached. And for his replacement's got to be up in the air. I've heard Kevin Sumlin from Texas A&M. I've heard Jack Del Rio, the former Jags coach, now with the Broncos. But really, I don't think any of these guys are really going to be there. Chris Peterson from Boise State, I don't think he's going to go either. I think they might hire within. And really, I thought John Gruden would be a great opportunity for John to get back into the game. I know John's an NFL guy, wouldn't be able to deal with the fluctuation of players in college, not being able to make a move with a player. But I think John, through his quarterback camp, has been able to teach these young guys how to play the game right. And I think really John could be a good fit there for sure. I think it's a good option for him. And also I think I have one more for you. The other big one I thought of was maybe bringing Jim Tressel in. Jim Tressel knowing how to coach at a big program. He would have to sell 5 games, but I think Tressel could be a great option. So that's my take on Lane Kiffin. We'll definitely be following this story all throughout until a final decision is made with the coaching decision there. Alright, so last night we saw Pittsburgh take down the Reds 6-2. Russell Martin 2 home runs, Marlon Byrd 1 home run, Francisco Liriano 7 strong innings. Johnny Cueto really struggled. And the Pittsburgh Pirates are moving on to the next round to play the Cardinals. But tonight the big game is Tampa Bay at Cleveland. Tampa Bay coming off that big win. Could struggle tonight. Alex Cobb going up against the rookie Danny Salazar. A big game for Salazar. Salazar has pitched well this year, and these teams have not matched up since June. Interesting matchup to watch. I think has to be Salazar against Evan Longoria. If they can take Longoria out of that lineup, they will have a whole lot more success at trying to win this game tonight. I think the Indians will get it done. I think this team's better. They're hot. They're riding the 10-game win streak. They have some veteran presence and some playoff experience in Nick Swisher, and I think he could lead this team into the playoffs and maybe get this team to a round 2. So I guess we'll see what happens. We got the Reds and the Pirates, we got the Cardinals and the Pirates. I think the Cardinals will win that one in 5. We got Dodgers and Braves. I think the Dodgers will win it in 4. In the other series, we have Oakland and Detroit. That's a toss-up. That's 2 good teams going at it. More of a veteran presence on Detroit, but still, those pesky A's. I think Detroit will get it done. But this is going to be a tough series. Detroit has to go on the road to start the series. That could be tough. I think Detroit will get it done in 5. They will win Game 2. It's tough to say. I don't know. This game will probably go to a Game 5. I don't know who's going to win it. And finally, I got the Red Sox and the Indians matching up. I think the Red Sox will be able to take care of this series in 4. Alright, well, I will be back sometime this weekend. Not sure about when the next blog will be. Likely Saturday night, possibly. New blog sometime this weekend. Tune in. We'll be breaking down Ohio State, Northwestern. Big games there. Clemson, Syracuse as well. Always remember to follow me on Twitter, YankeeBaller415. Check me out on JBSmooth84.com. Just got a news story out about Joe Girardi and the possibilities of his career in Major League Baseball. Always remember, comment, question, subscribe to my page. Thanks for tuning in to the Blog and Grill. I will be back sometime this weekend. Have a good rest of the week.